The thing that everybody's talking about is Tank came out and said he was gonna retire. Is that really happening?
That's his decision.
Yeah,
that's his decision.
Everybody's talking about Tank's recent claim that he might retire, but is that really going to happen? Well, that's his choice to make. What people need to remember is that Tank and his team can't be both the fighter and the one calling the shots. They've said a lot over the years, but one thing they haven't said is that they want to fight Devin. I get where Tank's coming from, though things can feel different when you're actually in the ring. Leonard Ellerby is speaking up after the big fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach got canceled. Tank caused quite a stir on social media when he announced that the fight was off, but his opponent doesn't seem to agree. According to Davis, his WBA lightweight title defense, scheduled for March 1st, 2025, is no longer happening, but it's not over yet. Lamont Roach is still pushing for that title shot early in 2025, so the final word might still be up in the air. Keep an eye on what happens next. Lamont Roach posted clips of himself shadowboxing and sparring with Fox while chatting with fans online. One fan asked him on his Instagram story if the fight with Davis was really canceled, and Roach couldn't believe it. He fired back asking, "Why are you even asking me about this? That's not on me. I'm locked in. Nothing's changed. March 1st, Brooklyn right now, PBC. The event organizers haven't said anything about the situation, and tickets for the Davis fight are still up for grabs. So stay tuned, it's not over yet." Tickets for the Davis vs. Roach fight are still available, but it's still unclear whether the match will happen as planned or get canceled. Fans are on edge, waiting for some clarity as the scheduled date at Brooklyn's Barclays Center gets closer. Originally, the fight was supposed to take place in Houston, Texas on December 14th, but it was postponed due to a scheduling conflict. Now, Gervonta Davis is set to defend his lightweight title against the reigning WBA super featherweight champion Lamont Roach, who's been given a rare exemption to keep his belt while fighting. Fans are hoping for answers soon. Lamont Roach is looking to grab a second WBA title in a higher weight class, specifically the WBA super featherweight crown, which he now holds. Funny enough, this title used to belong to Gervonta Davis, who also had the IBF title in the same division. Now, as we get ready for the big fight on March 1st in New York, fans are asking a lot of questions. Why Lamont Roach? He's definitely a solid fighter with a great chin and high boxing IQ, but fans are still wondering why he's the one getting the shot. It's the big question everyone's talking about as fight night approaches. Look, I totally get why people are asking those questions. When you've got fighters like Tank and Canelo, the expectations are always sky high. Fans expect a lot when you keep delivering against top competition. There were talks about a potential fight with Shakur early on, and then Devin Davis got promoted from the regular WBA lightweight champion to the lineal title holder after Devin Haney gave up the belt. The 30-year-old is really making a name for himself now. Tank Davis really cemented his place as a champion with an impressive 8th-round knockout of Frank Martin back in June, defending his newly won title. After that, there was a lot of talk about him possibly facing IBF champion Vasily Lomachenko in a big title unification fight. But those talks fell through when Lomachenko decided to take a step back from the sport and turn down the chance to fight Tank. However, Tank's Instagram post on Monday night seems to hint that things might not be as clear-cut as we thought. What's going on? Fans are definitely wondering. Tank Davis recently shared on his story that the fight with Canelo is off. Since then, he hasn't posted anything else or given an explanation. However, Lamont Roach SR, who also trains his son, spoke out to clarify things. He told Boxing Scene, "We haven't heard anything. As far as I know, the fight is still on. Nothing's changed on our side." This comes after his son, Lamont Roach Jr., posted a video of himself shadowboxing, while Tank was busy announcing the fight's cancellation. Fans are left confused and wondering what's really going on behind the scenes. What's next? Lamont Roach Jr. has been putting in serious work in the gym, showing off his boxing skills right after a sparring session. While it's clear the Roaches are still training hard, we're not sure if Tank Davis is doing the same. When asked if he considered Davis a friend, Roach responded, "Friends? Probably. Will it be hard to fight a friend? Not at all. Will we still be friends afterward? Yeah, why not? We're both making money. But when we step into the ring, we're making each other bleed, hopefully. I'm the one making him bleed. Right now, tickets for the Davis vs. Roach fight are still up for grabs online, and fans are on the edge of their seats, eager to see how this all turns out. The host brought up some talk on social media about a possible fight between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. They asked Bill Haney, Devin Haney's dad, if this fight was ever going to happen. Bill quickly said no. When asked why, he simply replied, "Have they agreed on anything yet?" His response made it clear that a fight between Davis and Stevenson is not likely to happen anytime soon, at least not without a lot of talking first. Fans are eager for big matchups like this, but for now it seems like the fight is just a rumor. Let's see what happens next, but for now, nothing's set in stone. In 2023, Gervonta Davis was promoted to full WBA world champion after being a regular champion for a while. Since then, he's only fought once, where he defended his title by stopping the undefeated Frank Martin in the 8th round last June. Meanwhile, his trainer, Calvin Ford, finally spoke up with a cryptic message on social media about the situation. Fans have been waiting for the big fight between Davis and Lamont Roach, but it's been delayed multiple times. The two were originally supposed to fight on December 14th at the Toyota Center in Houston, but the plans keep changing. The big fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach was supposed to happen on December 14th in Texas with Davis's WBA title on the line, but it got postponed because of scheduling issues. Now, the fight is set for March 1st in Brooklyn, New York. But here's the thing, a lot of fans aren't happy with the matchup. Many feel it's not a tough enough challenge for someone as popular as Tank Davis. The promoters, PBC, haven't officially said anything about the fight yet, and tickets for the March 1st event are still available to buy online. So we'll just have to wait and see if the fight actually happens. With all the uncertainty surrounding the fight, Gervonta Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, decided to speak up. He took to Instagram to explain that people don't always get what he's going through or how he feels about things, but he draws strength from his faith. He believes this understanding is a gift from God, and it motivates him to keep going and work hard to be the best version of himself. Meanwhile, it seems like Davis may be facing a new opponent soon. Oscar de la Hoya, the former world champion and head of Golden Boy Promotions, has been part of the conversation. Fans are eagerly waiting to see what happens next in this unfolding situation. Golden Boy Promotions, led by Oscar de la Hoya, is stepping in to help Gervonta Davis find a new opponent. Davis had previously mentioned that he might retire from boxing after a few more fights in 2025, which could explain some of his comments about the fight being canceled. Even so, Oscar is still eager to make things happen for Davis. He reached out on an X, formerly Twitter, saying, "Call me if you need a fight. I've got the perfect guy for you." Oscar, who helped promote the massive Davis vs. Garcia fight, is now trying to get Davis another match lined up. The situation keeps changing, and fans are wondering what's next for Tank Davis. Only time will tell. Oscar's move seems to be a smart way to get people talking and build excitement about the fight. Calvin Ford's comment didn't really explain why Gervonta Davis decided to cancel the fight with Lamont Roach. But since tickets are still available, it looks like the fight could still happen as originally planned, whether it's with Davis or someone else. Earlier this year, Davis made a statement with an incredible 8th-round knockout against Frank Martin in Las Vegas. Before that, in April 2023, Tank showed off his skills once again, proving he's still at the top of the game. Now everyone is wondering, who will he fight next? Fans are definitely eager to find out. Roach is moving up to the 140-pound division to face off against Gervonta Tank Davis and show that he's a real threat in the ring. The only fighter to beat Davis, Roach hasn't fought since his impressive victory over FGOMCC last June in Washington. Even though both fighters are on different paths for now, a lot of people believe they'll eventually meet in the ring. That's the exciting part of boxing. Everyone's journey leads to a potential clash. Davis has fought at 140 pounds before, so the idea of him and Roach going head-to-head down the line is definitely something to look forward to. Stay tuned, because this could be a fight that shakes up the boxing world. The excitement for a huge showdown between Tank Davis and Lomachenko in 2024 was through the roof, but things took a turn when the IBF lightweight champion decided to take a break. Leonard Ellaby quickly jumped in to defend Davis, hitting back at critics who accused him of picking easy fights. But one frustrated fan wasn't having it. They weren't impressed with Ellaby's response and kept pushing, asking why the Davis vs. Lomachenko fight had been called off. The fan even dug up a 2017 video and demanded to know why Lomachenko still hadn't faced Davis. It's clear that fans are eager for answers, and the anticipation for this fight hasn't died down yet. Bill Haney threw a little shade at Tank Davis, saying he thinks Tank is avoiding real boxers. He even said Stevenson vs. Davis would be a great fight, 50/50. I believe Tank is avoiding them for a reason. While Haney is unsure about the Davis vs. Roach fight, Lamont Roach is all in. Even though he's moving up in weight, Roach is super confident. He believes he's going to dominate the ring and leave fans shocked by his performance. When this fight finally happens, Roach plans to show everyone just how talented he really is and prove that he's ready for the challenge. Lamont Roach is all in for his fight with Tank Davis, and he's confident it's going to be the fight of the year. In a recent interview with TMZ Sports, Roach shared his belief that he can overpower Davis in the ring. "I'm in my zone when I'm in there," he said. "I'm going to surprise a lot of people when I win." Even though Davis has been on a knockout streak, Roach is determined to come out on top. "I'll be training hard to make sure I can knock him out any round," he explained. Fans are excited to see if Roach's confidence will pay off, as this fight has everyone talking. Vasyl Lomachenko was supposed to be part of one of the biggest boxing events in 2024. The plan was for him and Tank Davis to fight in a title unification match in December, but things fell apart when Lomachenko decided to take the rest of the year off. And it's not just that fight, other potential matchups have also stalled, like the ones with Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda, George Kambosos Jr., and even Devin Haney. These fights seemed close, but now they're just talks on social media with no real action. This has led some fans to wonder if Tank Davis is avoiding these big fights with top fighters. For a long time now, boxing fans have been frustrated and they're pointing fingers at either the promoters or Tank Davis for the lack of exciting matchups. The latest buzz is that Tank's next opponent will be Lamont Roach Jr., the WBA super featherweight champion, who's stepping up a weight class to face him. But ever since the announcement, fans haven't held back, criticizing Tank and his team for putting together a fight that didn't really excite anyone. The backlash has been so strong, it's led to heated debates online. Fans want to see Tank face bigger challenges and they're making their voices heard. The drama really heated up when Leonard Ellerbe, the former CEO of Mayweather Promotions, stepped in to defend the upcoming fight. It all started when Ellerbe responded to a video montage showing Lomachenko and his promoter, Bob Arum, sharing different views about the fighter's future. In the clip from 2017, Lomachenko said that a fight with Tank Davis would only happen if he joined Showtime. But since Lomachenko was already working with ESPN, he said it wasn't going to happen. A fan pointed out the video and asked how Floyd Mayweather felt about it. The tension quickly grew from there. Mayweather always seemed to land big fights easily, but Tank Davis, even with the same team, including Leonard Ellerbe, has struggled to get top opponents in the ring. Ellerbe stepped up to explain, saying there were many challenges behind the scenes that fans didn't see. He highlighted that boxing matchmaking isn't as simple as it looks. With so much information shared on social media, fans often think they understand everything, but the truth is, it's a lot more complicated than that. Ellerbe stepped in to explain that fans often get influenced by wrong information online and don't fully understand how fights are made. He said that social media has a big impact on people's opinions and many don't see the challenges that come with putting a fight together. He also pointed out that when a fight doesn't happen, it's not always Tank Davis' fault. Sometimes the other fighter pulls out or they call out Tank knowing they can't actually make the fight. According to Ellerbe, organizing a fight is way more complicated than people realize and there are many things that can go wrong behind the scenes. Rick Glazer thinks Tank Davis might be better off without Leonard Ellerbe, but he also recognizes Ellerbe's skill and ability to bounce back. Glazer believes Ellerbe will probably land a role at PBC, possibly working alongside Steven Espinoza in a management position. This wouldn't be too surprising considering Ellerbe has been closely involved with PBC's operations and media partnerships over the past year. Plus, his long friendship with Al Heyman, PBC's leader, could make the transition to a new role there feel like a natural next step. Fans are now wondering what the future holds for both Tank and Ellerbe. When asked about the possibility of signing with Showtime for the fight, Ellerbe explained that the timing just wasn't right. "We're open to working with anyone, as long as it makes sense," he said. He clarified that the November 2024 fight didn't happen because Lomachenko wanted to take a break and rest. Ellerbe also acknowledged Lomachenko's possible retirement, calling him a great fighter. If he decides to retire, that's what's best for him and his family, he said. But instead of dwelling on what didn't happen, Ellerbe shifted the focus to Gervonta Davis, hyping up his upcoming fight with Lamont Roach, reminding fans that Davis is ready to keep making moves in the ring. Recently, there's been a lot of buzz about Lomachenko possibly stepping away from boxing, and it's got the boxing community talking. While these rumors haven't been confirmed yet, if they turn out to be true, fans could miss out on the big showdown between Tank Davis and the 2012 London Olympics gold medalist. At the same time, boxing expert Rick Glazer is back with some strong opinions on the PBC, and as expected, things don't look too good for them. Just recently, Glazer revealed that Gervonta Davis showed up at the official press conference for his next fight, but there's still a lot more unfolding that fans are eager to see. When Tank Davis showed up solo at the press conference for his upcoming fight with Lamont Roach, fans immediately noticed something was off. Boxing expert Rick Glazer, trusting his instincts, raised concerns about the situation. It looks like he was right, as reports now say Tank might be considering parting ways with the PBC and even distancing himself from one of his longest mentors in the sport. Glazer took to social media to share some breaking news, claiming that multiple sources confirmed Leonard Ellerbe has been cut from Tank's team and no longer works with him. This change has left fans curious about what's next for Tank Davis and his future in boxing. It recently came out that Gervonta Davis has ended his decade-long partnership with Leonard Ellerbe. The two first teamed up back in 2015 when Tank signed with Mayweather Promotions. Ellerbe, the former CEO of the company, has been a big part of Davis's journey, helping guide his career every step of the way. Even after his fallout with Floyd Mayweather, Davis kept a close connection with Ellerbe, who served as his advisor. Davis has always been confident in his abilities, saying, "I'm very, very confident Tank beats all those guys. You name any of them." You fans are now left wondering how this change will affect Tank's future in the sport. When asked about a potential fight between Tank Davis and names like Devin Haney or Teofimo Lopez, the answer was that it's not something that can be rushed or timed. You can't really set a timeline for these kinds of fights, they explained. The big matchups happen when everything clicks for both sides. While fans often get impatient, it's understandable since they might not fully grasp how the business side of boxing works. Tank is coming off a major fight where he earned millions and his focus has been on continuing to grow as a fighter. The message is simple: Tank's career will unfold naturally with big opportunities coming when the time is right. Tank Davis has been raking in impressive revenue with every fight, and naturally the offers he gets reflect that. The pay a fighter receives is all about their value in the sport, and right now Tank is on another level compared to others. But according to boxing expert Rick Glazer, it looks like Tank's partnership with his current team might be coming to an end. Glazer shared his thoughts, saying this could be a great move for Tank. He believes that Tank is heading in the right direction as he plans his next steps in the sport, and fans are curious to see where this new chapter takes him. Bernard Hopkins, who made history as the oldest world champion in 2014 at 49 when he won the WBA light heavyweight title, recently gave his thoughts on Tank Davis possibly retiring. In an interview with Fight Hype, Hopkins said that even if Tank decides to retire, his legacy will still be incredible. He deserves respect for doing what most of the greats did in their time, Hopkins explained. He reached the highest goal in boxing, and he's also a first-ballot Hall of Famer. Hopkins' words show that Tank's achievements are already being recognized, and no matter what happens next, his place in boxing history is secure. Fans are now left to reflect on Tank's career and the impact he's already made. If Tank Davis decides to leave PBC, it could open up some exciting new opportunities for him. Glazer believes this might be the best move for Tank, considering several factors. With big names like Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford already leaving PBC during its financial struggles, it's not out of the question that Tank could follow their lead. Given his huge popularity and influence, Tank would have no trouble finding a new promotional partner. Companies like Matchroom Boxing and Top Rank would likely be eager to work with him, paving the way for even bigger things in his career. Fans are eager to see where Tank's journey takes him next. Top Rank would be eager to sign a talent like Tank Davis. With their flexible approach to partnerships across different platforms, they give Tank more chances to stay active and pick tougher matchups, something his fans have been hoping for. This kind of control would also help Tank secure better deals and get a bigger cut of pay-per-view profits. If Tank decides to leave PBC, it could be a big hit to the company, something Glazer has pointed out. Fans are eagerly waiting to see what happens next in Tank's career and whether this move will change the game for him. Tank Davis definitely made a big splash at his press conference, making everyone wait for 4 hours and 28 minutes. But the real shock came when he surprised everyone by saying he plans to retire by the end of 2025. If he sticks to this, fans might only get a few more media appearances before he steps out of the spotlight. Davis, a major figure in boxing, left fans and analysts in disbelief when he shared his retirement plan. With an undefeated record of 3-0-0, Tank's announcement has everyone wondering what the future holds for one of the sport's biggest stars. Fans are left to reflect on his career and what's next for him. Tank Davis opened up about his changing thoughts on boxing, revealing that the birth of his son has made him rethink where his career is headed. It's over with after this year, Davis said, sitting slumped in a chair at the press conference. This is trash, garbage, I'm done. I don't care about belts or any of that. I'm just focused on making my money and getting out. I'm fed up. It's not just boxing, it's everything. I have kids now, I just had a son. His surprising words left fans in shock as he made it clear that his priorities have shifted and he's ready to move on from the sport. Fans are now left wondering if this really is the end for one of boxing's biggest stars. Tank Davis made it clear that he doesn't want to keep fighting and taking punches forever. He shared that he plans to have just 3 more fights in 2025 before retiring. One of the big fights he's interested in is a rematch with Ryan Garcia, the opponent he beat in April 2023. Tank thinks this could be the perfect fight to end his career on a high note. Their first showdown was a massive success, making over $1 million. Now, fans are eagerly waiting to see if this rematch will be the grand finale Tank has planned for his career. Tank Davis shared that his last fight with Ryan Garcia wasn't just a win, it was a huge success, with 2 million pay-per-view buys and $22.8 million in ticket sales. Looking ahead, Tank said his third and final fight of 2025 could be against former undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney. After that, Tank plans to focus on building his real estate portfolio and stepping away from the spotlight. I just want to make money and stay out of the way, he said. Even though he's only 30 in age when many boxers are still in their prime, Tank is thinking ahead and wants to move on from the ring, unlike boxing legend Bernard Hopkins, who kept fighting into his 40s. Fans are now wondering what Tank's next steps will be as he prepares to leave the sport behind. Bernard Hopkins, who made history as the oldest world champion in 2014 at 49 when he won the WBA light heavyweight title, recently gave his thoughts on Tank Davis possibly retiring. In an interview with Fight Hype, Hopkins said that even if Tank decides to retire, his legacy will still be incredible. He deserves respect for doing what most of the greats did in their time, Hopkins explained. He reached the highest goal in boxing, and he's also a first-ballot Hall of Famer. Hopkins' words show that Tank's achievements are already being recognized, and no matter what happens next, his place in boxing history is secure. Fans are now left to reflect on Tank's career and the impact he's already made. If Davis decides to take 1, 2, or maybe 3 more fights before he calls it a career, let's respect that and hope he gives us the matchup we've all been waiting for. After all, the real excitement comes when we get to see the fights we dream about. Now, as for why Davis isn't rushing into a fight with Stevenson anytime soon, he's made it clear himself he's got his reasons. And let's not forget, Floyd Mayweather, a 5-time world champion, always seems to be at the center of any criticism aimed at Davis. The two of them have worked together in the past, and even though they've had their moments, people still love to talk about their connection. It keeps things interesting, doesn't it? Floyd Mayweather and Davis had a strong mentor-mentee relationship for a while, with Floyd guiding Davis early in his career. But over time, their connection started to break down. Now, Teofimo Lopez's father, Sr., has jumped into the conversation about Davis's retirement. Lopez SR doesn't hold back, saying Davis is just following in Mayweather's footsteps, copying his every move. Davis didn't take too kindly to those comments. In fact, he fired back, saying he plans to smack Lopez when they finally meet in the ring. And Lopez SR didn't back down either, jokingly saying whichever monkey wants to get the banana when asked who he wants to fight next. It looks like the tension between these two camps is only heating up. What do you think? Will Davis and Lopez ever settle their differences in the ring? Lopez SR recently stirred the pot by saying he'd rather see Davis fight Terrence Crawford first. He even went as far as to say, "They call themselves gorillas, but I'm a lion, I eat them," while Lopez SR later tried to explain that he was just trying to mess with them. His words clearly struck a nerve. When Davis heard this, he didn't hold back. Speaking with Fight Hype, he fired back, saying, "I'm going to slap the expletive out of him when I see him." Davis also said that if Lopez was standing right in front of him, he'd quickly change his whole attitude, but Lopez SR didn't seem to back down at all. In fact, he almost seemed to welcome the confrontation. So, what do you think? Will we see these two settle their differences in the ring, or is this just more talk to get fans riled up? Lopez SR recently shared his thoughts on Davis's career, saying that Davis took Floyd Mayweather's advice to fight nobodies and just cash in on the money. This has been a big talking point for critics who argue that Davis often picks and chooses his opponents, much like Mayweather did. Many believe Mayweather waited for his rivals to age or even avoided them altogether. It's also worth remembering that Mayweather himself flirted with retirement several times before officially stepping away in 2017. Despite this, Lopez SR keeps drawing comparisons between Davis and Mayweather's career choices, implying that Davis is following a similar path. So, what do you think? Has Davis learned from Floyd's strategy, or is he just taking the easy route? Will fans continue to buy into the hype, or are they starting to see through it? Performances and those of Floyd, he said, "Look, Floyd could fight a grandmother right now and they'll go pay for it, so why risk it? My son is going to knock this dude out. I already know it. He's southpaw, he's small, he's not going to touch him," with that left hand turning to threats from Davis about slapping his son. Lopez Sr. confidently noted, "And he's so stupid because he's announcing that he's going to confront us and slap my son. I want to see that happen." Lopez has also addressed Davis's threat in the interim. For some time, the takeover has been pushing for a showdown between the two. However, with Tank stepping away from the sport, the possibility of the fight has grown increasingly uncertain. But when Davis boldly threatened to slap Lopez upon spotting him, it sparked a brilliant idea in the mind of the super lightweight champion. In an interview with Fight Hype during the Emmanuel Navarro versus Oscar Valdez bout in Arizona, Lopez challenged Davis to give him a heads up when he intends to slap him so he can contact ESPN and his promoter Top Rank to set it up as an official fight. "Let me know so I can call ESPN Top Rank and we get a ring and we make it happen like that," Lopez said. Despite Devon Davis seemingly preparing to leave the sport, Teofimo Lopez and his father are mulling over the possibility of a showdown with him in the ring. Whether this clash will materialize remains uncertain. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.